Okay, I hope this is. I didn't test the sound. I'm just hoping. Okay. This is the first time I picked up on this little 2-year-old filly. She's a sweet little kind filly. You can tell that already. But she doesn't know what I'm going to ask her. So there, good. I'll try to stay in frame here if I can. Come on. Okay, so this is a trailer loading issue. She's in Arizona, the owner, and wants to take this 2-year-old to Texas to get started. And she does load, but she doesn't load so good. Well, she doesn't load consistently, I guess you might say. So I'm going to work on just getting her to move around me and see if I can get those hindquarters to yield. Like that. I probably won't talk a whole lot in this one because the visual will kind of tell it. So you can see she doesn't understand. And I want her to go around me, but she picked up on it pretty good, and there's the hind. So that's how I do it in the beginning. Almost looks like it's rather boring and a know-nothing kind of a deal, but I got to get her started and understanding before I ask anything else of her. See how she doesn't want to go forward. She's out of frame, so I'm going to try to get her back in here, and now she's going forward. So as soon as she gets going forward, I give her the release. Forward, release. Around me, out and around. Then I get those hindquarters to break over to her left, and for her to stop, I release. I keep repeating that until she gets a better understanding of it. She goes out and around me. There. Out and around. As she does that, I'll time up with that inside hind leg, ask those hindquarters to break over, and release. Out and around. Plan B is to drive. See how she's backing up, so I've got to give them up there. She went forward. I release for that and quit driving. It's very important that I do that. Hind, release. She stopped. Good. Give her a second. And I'll go again. Out and around to my right. There. That's nice. So I'll time up the inside hind leg. Try to get her a little bit bent there. As she bends her head to me, she sticks her hindquarters away from me. I'll go again on that same side. Good. Keep working. There. So I just took a hold of her a little bit on that. Bend to me because she's not understanding. She needs to bend her head to me to step those hindquarters away. There, that was nice. Now she did it in a little fearful manner, but that's okay. That'll get better. She'll start working on a feel. And when I say a feel, it's just about more understanding. So I get to do less when she's working on a feel, and she gets to do more, and she's pretty quiet about it. That's what we call working on a feel. Oh. getting a little bit better about that. Out to my left. See how she backs up? That needs to go away so that her first response pretty soon should just come right off the pressure of my rope here, which is in my left hand there. So when that comes tight and I show her where she needs to go, she needs to come right off. That won't happen for a while, so I'll have to drive her to get her to help her understand until she gets it. Out and around to my left. There, that was pretty good. Hardly had to drive, but you see my driving hand is there in case she stalls out or slows down. Need her to. There, that was the best one she did if she gets stopped. Good. Out and around to my right, and I just keep repeating this process over and over until I see the changes and of course the adjustments that I need to make from what she's telling me. So I'm constantly adjusting. There, that was excellent. Why I say it was excellent? Because she actually drifted. There was a little drift. They call that a drift, where her front feet were still moving. They were kind of doing this. So there was forward motion in her movement, which allows her hindquarters to step over in a more proper form or a cleaner way. So she did that first time. So it took several, and she might not even understand what she did, but we'll keep looking for that. Both sides. Forward. See how she's backing up? So I got to drive here. Drive. See if I can get her to come forward. If not, I'll adjust my angle just right there. I like the way she's walking around nice. That's really good. So I'll try to get her to drift, release. Excellent. And I'll explain that drift and stuff a little bit clearer as we go. But first, I just get her to do it. I don't care what it looks like. Well, I do care what it looks like, but I'm not critical of what it looks like if she'll just try. So I release for those little bitty tries, even if the form is a long way from what I want, and then I start working on the quality of the form as she gets an understanding of what she needs to do. So it's just incremental. Okay. She didn't understand there, so I'll just help her go forward. I'll kind of release for that. I'll get back here where you can see it. Now she didn't drift there, but she got her hindquarters, so I'll take it. I want her to clear her front quarters out to her right, like that. That was very well done. Keep coming. Now she thinks she's got to hustle, but that was good. I'm looking for her feet to get stopped. Yeah, I can't make her stop. When I break those hindquarters over, or I should say when she breaks those hindquarters over, I can't make her stop, but that's my intention. I want her to stop, and it's my idea, and I want it to become her idea to stop. And then I just release all that energy inside of me. I kind of quit going, and then they get onto it pretty dang quick. That's just the way they are. So, and then I give her that moment or two here after she does it, this release, so that she'll keep working towards that. That's a big motivating factor for a horse is to release that slight try, small change. Okay, I'm looking for a drift. I got it. So I release. And see, that drift is her shoulder is working. I need a little bit of control of the shoulder in order for the hindquarters to break over correctly, because it kind of helps that horse know where her body is, and she gets more balance that way. And she's not off balance, so she'll have a tendency to want to do that. I don't want her planting those front feet. That's an essential part of this understanding of this groundwork as you go. Is the front feet they can't be walking much, but they got to be doing this. And then the hindquarters, when you ask for those hindquarters, they're reaching really deep and long. That's the idea. Out and around to my left. Good. Drift. Drift. I'll just keep going. I'm not going to release for that because she didn't quite understand. There, she's drifting. She gets a release. The hindquarters broke over clean. That was good. And I'll keep explaining this as I go. But just kind of watch the hindquarters and watch your front legs. When I say drift, what I'm looking for. Okay, I have to drive. See, wrong answer. She needs to come forward and pressure will go away. There, now goes away. Drift. Drift. Good enough. Excellent. So what I do is I kind of get this going and get her operating with the hindquarters, so I have control of those hindquarters isolated from the front, and then I'll get the front quarters sort of isolated from behind, and then I'll be able to put them together. So when I ask her to do something that's a little bit more challenging, like loading in a trailer or taking her somewhere, I'll have some control of the horse through the hind end and the front end. So that's why I start here, and then as she gets onto it and a little better, then I have the time to do it. I get her pretty good before I even approach the trailer. Forward. There. And you notice where my positioning is. Angle and position and all this stuff is vital for them to get an understanding of it. I'm right behind the balance point. On this horse, the balance point is right behind her elbow there, right where your front cinch goes. That's the balance point. So in order to open that door to go forward, I've got to stay slightly right at the balance point or slightly behind it. Just depends on each horse. So pretty soon I don't even have to worry about that balance point. I can do this from anywhere, but not yet. She'll get an understanding of it where I won't have to. But in the beginning, I've got to help her every chance I get. Drift. 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 There. So I took a hold of her and bumped her a little bit. She's very sensitive. That's good, though. She responded. And then I back off. I only bump when necessary. Here we go. Out to my left, out and around, out and around. Good. See, and I like that walk, light and lively, but not scared. I don't want a dull walk because I can get this forward momentum. There's the drift, and there's the release, and there's the bump. So I released, but she kept wallering, so I just bumped her head over a little bit again. I said, just try that again, and when you get it kind of correct or a little better, I'll release. And I did. Out and around to my right. Excellent. When I say excellent, I just say excellent because the progress that she's showing is a little by little better and better. Is it exactly the way it needs to be? Heck no. It's a long way from that. It's pretty crude, but come on. Come on. So she lost her forward momentum, so I'll just start again. Ask her again. I'll take that. Good. Now I'm going to ask that front end to kind of be there. Just like that. It's pretty crude, but she's understanding it. There's There, now, over here, see? So I'm going to just put her where I want her. I'll put her on the left, then I'll put her on the right. I'll put her on the left, and I'll put her on the right. There it is. There's the drift. Now we go the other way, see? So it turns into a little bit of a dance step, if you will. That's what I'm looking for, just meaning that I want it smoother. I want her to feel it of me so that she kind of has an understanding and there's not a lot of movement on my part. But that ain't happening yet. There, release, go that way. See, she got lost. There she goes. When I say she gets lost, she's confused, mentally lost. They kind of go, I'm not sure I understand. So it's up to me to help her understand. At that moment, that very moment, what can I do to help her understand what I want her to do? So a lot of times it changes from moment to moment. Drift, 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 hindquarters, release. And pretty soon, you won't even hear me mention the word drift, because pretty soon she'll get an understanding that that front end has to be moving shorter than the hind end. The hind end has to be moving long, and that's the drift. And that's more proper form, what she needs to get this little movement correct.